everyone, my name is Angel and I am a video creator based here in New York City. And I basically make content about trying to live the most beautiful life I possibly can and my healing journey to do that. And what I usually do is create series, 21-day series, 30-day series, and right now, which is why you're probably watching this video, I am doing a 365-day series or challenge to get out of my comfort zone, essentially 365 days of discomfort. So I have my laptop here to kind of talk about how I'm doing it, why I'm doing it, all of that. So let's get into it. What this 365 days of discomfort challenge is basically every day I am promising myself to try and do something out of my comfort zone. I'm going to do both big and small things. It can range anything from challenging myself to fix my bed the moment I get up, which is really hard for me, and there's a really big mental block when I do that, to something big like bungee jumping or skydiving, which is definitely out of my comfort zone, but I have done skydiving before, but something of that magnitude. And I will be recording it on daily vlogs on all of my platforms, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikToks. And here's the thing though, I'm going to give myself grace when I'm struggling, because the thing about these long challenges is that sometimes you're not perfect and that's okay, but we'll talk about that a little later. All right, so here is why I am doing this 365-day challenge of discomfort. When I was growing up, I was scared of a lot of things. My family would call me a scaredy cat or a worrywart, and I was always really in my head, and that kept me from doing a lot and living a lot of life. To be completely honest with you, I have spent most of my life inside of my bedroom, scared or depressed or anxious, and I have missed out on a lot of life, and that's pretty painful to say, but I don't want to do that anymore. I want to live life, and in order to do that I have to face some pretty big fears, and in order to make this a habit I have to do it for a long period of time. I want to do things on my bucket list. I want to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that takes a while to get into, and I've already been trying to do that, but this 1 year challenge is going to change basically everything. See, we only have one life, and I want to live it to the absolute fullest. So that's why I'm doing it. And I think the biggest thing now is how I'm doing it. So this is my process, and everyone kind of has their own process with this. But I think in order to know how you're going to do a challenge that's long-term like this, you have to know what kind of person you are. And for me, I'm the kind of person that likes to do things off the cuff. I don't like to plan too far ahead because my mood changes or the things that I want to do that day changes, and so it doesn't work super well for me. So yeah, I mean, I get nervous to plan too far ahead. It's like a mental health, anxiety thing. So this is what I personally do for someone that has a personality like me. Two things. So at the beginning of every challenge, I kind of write down a list of everything that I'm scared of, or everything out of my comfort zone that I want to do. And it's a running list. Like, there are things that you can add, things you can subtract, but it's something that I kind of have as kind of a benchmark. It's either I have that in my head or I write it down, and I literally put it on my wall. I'm a really visual person, and so my walls, you can't see it right now, but my walls are almost like a notepad. Like, there are sticky notes and posters and things like that, so that it keeps me accountable. I've written a bucket list, and everything on my bucket list is basically everything out of my comfort zone. I've wrote a list of things that I'm scared of, like 100 of my biggest fears, and I put it on a big poster, and those things are going to be part of the things that I want to do to get out of my comfort zone. And so I kind of have this whole like running process of what I want to do. And so it's almost like the database of things. But the second is basically, I wake up every morning and I just kind of think in my head two questions. How am I holding myself back? And what am I scared to do today? And I attack it. And I take small actions towards doing something different that I wouldn't usually do that day. And so in that way, I have kind of pre-planned items and also off-the-cuff items depending on my mood. Because for me, a lot of my life, which is something I'm working on, depends on my mood and how I feel. And I'm really trying to take control of that. But for someone that's kind of still within that process, doing it twofold, like having a database for what I want to do, and then kind of waking up every morning kind of feeling myself and what I also have the capability to do that's out of my comfort zone is really, really important. So I don't have like a list of like, on Monday I'm gonna do this, Tuesday I'm gonna do this, Wednesday I'm gonna do this. Like there's some things that I do pre-plan. Like I actually started this challenge already about a month ago. So I did a cold bath. And I planned that a little bit ahead because I had to get the ice and I invited friends, and so that was something I did. And then there was another day where I woke up and I decided I'm going to do, I think it was like 7 or 10 small things to get myself out of my comfort zone, because that's what I felt I had the capability to do that day over like doing a cold bath. So that's a big part of how I'm doing that process. The reason why I'm allowing myself is flexibility. Is because having a 365-day challenge is really challenging. In 1 year, especially, in your 20s, a lot of things change. I've moved cities, I've changed friend groups, I've changed a lot as a person, my ambitions have changed, my career paths in some ways have also changed, the people I interact with on the day-to-day change, and I also worked a full-time job in addition to this, so my schedule changes, and so allowing myself flexibility with this 365-day challenge is incredibly important. And so that also goes into my second thing is like, I am going to give myself grace. Like if I skip a day or even like a week or even 2 weeks, like I give myself permission to not be perfect, because that is the only way that I'll be able to finish this 1 year journey. A big problem of what I used to struggle with, and I'm not as much anymore, is that it was like all or nothing, black or white. If I couldn't do something perfectly, like if I couldn't do a 365-day challenge every single day and have a challenge every single day, if I missed a day, I would give up. And a big part of this is I don't want to give up. There's that quote that's like, done is better than perfect. And I would much rather finish this challenge having done like 250 things that I never would have done that were out of my comfort zone than stopping at day 50 because I couldn't do it every day straight. And so that's basically my process on how I'm doing this 365-day challenge. And I kind of want to end it on a more introspective note. Doing this video is completely out of my comfort zone. Making long form videos after kind of starting out making content short form is incredibly, incredibly terrifying for me. But I think in the grand scheme of life, I have realized that everything that I've ever wanted, anything that has truly ever made me feel alive, has been on the other side of my comfort zone. Is that cliche? Yeah. Yeah, it's like super cliche. But I think there's a reason why some things are cliche. My comfort zone is staying in my room and talking to the 1 or 2 close friends that I have allowed into my life to a certain degree and going to the same restaurants. And in a way, that's so incredibly beautiful. But there's so much of the world that I want to see. And in order to do that, I have to be uncomfortable. I have to push myself. I have to work to do that. And, I'm someone that has struggled with mental health issues, depression and anxiety and a lot of stuff. And that keeps me from doing things that the normal person would find incredibly easy. And that's okay. But that's also recognizing that I do have to try a lot harder than other people to have a seemingly normal life and normal friends and a normal career. And sometimes you have to be okay with challenging yourself. And there's a part of me that's ashamed, like, oh my God, like I have to do this comfort zone challenge so that I can not feel as scared leaving my bedroom or getting out of bed or being able to move out of this city I've lived in forever or whatever, right? But I started this challenge because I have been through hard times. I've had relatives pass away that made me realize our own mortality. I've had breakups that made me realize that I still don't know my own worth, and I need to understand how to live a beautiful life without depending on someone else's affirmations of me. So do what you need to do to feel alive. Do what you need to do to chase your dreams, and don't be ashamed to work hard, to have to do the things that maybe other people don't have to do, because the most beautiful things in life live on the other side of your comfort zone. And if you want to join me on this 365-day challenge, please do. Life is waiting for you on the other side of your comfort zone. I'll see you all later, and have a great day. I love you. Bye.